Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Coffee Call Podcast. I am JD.
And I'm Lucas.
Jamie, the bus driver, is not here. He is gone, the bus has stalled, and he could not make it.
We're tumbling over today.
We're
walking to school.
Yeah, so it's just Lucas and I, but we do have Jamie's Jellycat here in his place in memoriam. So Jamie will hopefully be here next time, but Lucas and I are holding down the fort this week. And since Jamie is gone, I'm going to take this opportunity to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole here. Tonight, as this is being recorded, is Game 6 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and the Florida Panthers, which are just right down the road from us. Most of you probably know this, but we're located here in South Florida. Then might bring that Stanley Cup home again.
Either way, even if they don't win, they still got to bring that Stanley Cup out of the dollar. That's for sure. So either way, it's down here.
It's down here. The Cup will be in the building tonight, and South Florida might have a reason to be celebrating and partying. Which means they're going to need some great coffee the next day.
That is recover. It's going to be a crazy week. Either way, it's going to be a crazy week down here. That's for freaking sure.
It is. It's very, very exciting. At least for Lucas and I, we're excited. Jamie and me.
Yeah. It's alright. I'm sure the game's going to be on this TV tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure. All right. So on this episode, it's going to be a little bit interesting.
Well, before anything, we should talk about
Okay, yeah.
We almost forgot. Yeah. Since I see Jamie's Jellycat right in front of me, and it makes me think we got to talk about what coffee we're drinking. And
what do you got?
Well, I brought my Jellycat out here because I feel like it's illegal to not have my Jellycat on the podcast. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Jamie's Jellycat is a towel. So, but I'm drinking a Big Boy coffee. So the Jellycat is not good like a Big Boy coffee. It's black coffee, and it's in a nice ceramic mug. But I have a nice pour over of our Komodo Dragon, which is an excellent coffee. And I love this coffee.
Komodo's good. I really like Komodo as well. I just went for a simple latte. There's nothing fancy about this. There's no chocolate or caramel or vanilla.
He took the notes from our last podcast pretty seriously. It's regular milk in there too. Not any plant milk or anything like that.
No, exactly.
But
it's not coconut.
But it is still coffee. You could put that in a Jellycat. That is for sure.
Yeah. So just a normal latte. That's all that I'm drinking.
You don't need to put pour-overs in your Jellycat. It's a little bit of the Big Boy drink.
Yeah. That Komodo is really good. People need to go and check that out if you haven't.
It is some very nice coffee. Our Mexican coffees are awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So on this episode, we're going to be talking about... It's going to involve a little bit of math and logic. And how some people think about expensive coffee.
The two people that have the college degrees here are ready for math.
Exactly. It also somewhat ties into the last podcast and the clip that we had go out with some comments that we had on that video. I do want to bring that into this conversation as well. But let's start here. One of the Gen Z terms out there that is trendy is girl math, which I think is kind of hilarious because generally speaking, women are more educated and better with math, like statistically. So
I know James missing this conversation.
I know.
Oh, Gen Z terms in girl math.
I know. So it's a little bit ironic and hilarious in that regard, but essentially...
So what's girl math?
Girl math is mental gymnastics. And that's really what the phrase should be, is mental gymnastics.
Welcome to Gen Z, baby.
Yes, because
it's our specialty.
Bending the math to your will to make sense of it in your mind to justify your choices. That's all that it comes down to. So if you think making coffee at home is going to save you $5 a day, then in your mind you think when you go out to buy an $8 coffee, because you're saving $150 a month, that your $8, expensive
Cream brulee latte.
cream brulee latte you're getting for free. And that's just not how it works. That's just not how math and budgeting works. But that is ultimately what a lot of people do to justify, spending a lot of money on their coffee drinks. And look, if you want to come to our retail shop and spend $8 on a drink because of said
Every day?
Gymnastics, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome.
100%. And we're pretty nice over here. We're warm and cuddly over here, just like these jelly cats.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to go and start harassing you over your cream brulee latte. I don't know why I'm on my cream brulee latte hate train today. It just is.
No, but it's a great example of the kind of drinks that people like to spend a lot of money on. And the reason they spend the money on those drinks typically comes down to they're used to drinking bad coffee. And so they get addicted to the flavors. Yes. I need the caramel and the chocolate and the sugars. All the power to you. Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that's probably going to transition to our next point, where you can get those awesome caramel flavors out of coffee in itself. Coffee has some excellent flavor notes in them. So,
yes.
And I'm guessing this is where we're going to bring up our contentious topic over here.
Yeah. So on the last podcast, we were talking about how great coffee doesn't incentivize putting in lots of milk and sugars and all that sort of stuff. The cream brulee lattes of the world, if you will. And we got a lot of comments on Instagram and TikTok with people pushing back against that idea or not understanding perhaps where we were coming from, which is, I guess the point of the video is to, we were joking and having fun with it, of course, but getting the idea out there that great coffee, there's natural flavors in the coffee where you don't have to substitute that with, creams and sauces and stuff.
Now you can easily Google this image, but we have this sitting in our little fancy retail spot that we love to promote so much. But this right here is a wheel of all of the natural flavors that you can get in coffee. And coffee, there's layers to this. Like coffee gets very bougie, so we do have this thing called coffee cupping. It's basically like the coffee version of wine tasting. I like to call it at least.
That's essentially what it is.
Yeah. And to do that, so we get the aroma, we taste the coffee. And that's how we get all of these fancy flavor notes. And we assign these to each of our coffees. Because each coffee, even if it's burnt to a crisp, has those flavor notes in there, which we try to burn away with over roasting it. But there's so many like a lot of these like berry notes, floral notes. We've got brown sugar and spice notes, but it gets really bougie. But you can look up this image, and all of our coffees on our website have cupping notes associated with them. So I would definitely try. If you have our coffee, you should try looking this image up. It's called the SCAA cupping notes wheel, and just try our coffee and see if our notes match up. And if you don't, let us know in the comments because we are open to whatever you guys say with that. This is what they go with on the side.
And that's the thing. Now, obviously, a lot of our normal customers that buy from us a lot, you already know this. We're mostly speaking to the people that commented on our video a couple of weeks ago that just aren't aware. And I really just don't think a lot of people are aware of what specialty grade coffee actually is. Because when you go to other stores that shall not be named, you are buying lesser grade coffee. It might be specialty grade, but it's commodity.
Your commodity coffee.
Yeah.
Money is street. It's street.
Exactly. And look, it tends to be a little bit more bitter, and they do that purposely so that you add in all the other stuff, and they can justify having a coffee for $10. Exactly. So if that's what you're accustomed to, and that's what you like, that's fine, but that's ultimately how that works. If you buy great specialty grade coffee, as Lucas just pointed out, there's amazing natural flavor notes that you will taste in that coffee.
100%.
You know, like this Colombia coffee has great notes of cinnamon in here and brown sugar. It's fantastic. One of my favorites is the Ethiopian Harar.
Yes.
I cannot emphasize enough. Like I describe it as it's like drinking a blueberry muffin. The strong blueberry, strawberry notes are incredible. So if you want a sweet flavor profile, that is a great coffee, and you don't need to add anything to it. In fact, adding anything to it should be a crime, straight to prison. You don't need to add anything to a coffee like that. So that's what we mean by, you know, high-end specialty grade coffee. You don't need to add milk and sugar and all these things. And if you actually try it, and I think that's ultimately what this comes down to. A lot of people just haven't had that experience.
Yeah.
So
and
drawing the coffee makes a big difference.
Yeah. And we're all ends of the spectrum here. I mean, we got like all of this like fancy bougie. We got our cupping notes, but we also have like pistachio latte.
Yeah, we do it both.
So we try to do mix everything here. We try to be everything we have. If there's like something online that we think is cool, we'll try it out here. I mean, why not? But it's pretty much just like the higher end of the spectrum when you get to like that really fancy stuff. If you want to see something extremely bougie, you should watch the World Barista Championships. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but if you look that up, oh my god, you want take you on like an experience. And they all drink the coffee black, and it's all the cupping notes, and it's literally like they're like walking through like a museum almost, and they're like all they're doing is drinking coffee. Like it gets like really to like a high echelon of like the flavor profiles in there.
Now look, we're not opposed to having fun.
Get the camera right here. We have fun all the time here.
I mean, I can equate it this way. I'm also a huge film fan. I can be as pretentious as the best of them. If you want to talk about the small international foreign indie films that are the best of the year, like one of my favorite films last year was a film called All We Imagine Is Light from India. No one in the United States outside of cinephiles and critics have heard of that film. So I can be as pretentious as the best of them. I also love the Avengers. I love Mad Max Fury Road. I love to have fun too. Like I get to have both ends there. Same thing with coffee. Maybe I want a Komodo pour over, or I want a fancy creme brulee. You know?
I almost think that's a creme brulee in there at this rate. We're like manifesting it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's enjoying the industry as a whole.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of things.
Yeah, you can have fun. Sometimes you just want,
sometimes you want
a
to
good
pour
over.
I'm already done with this, by the way.
I know.
I don't know how long we've been doing this, but we're probably like maybe halfway.
It's so anyway, I wanted to bring that up. We had some really interesting comments about it, and I think it ties to this topic because a lot of people aren't aware of these things because all they do is get the fancy drinks because of the girl math or mental gymnastics. That's what I'm going to champion. It really should be called that more than anything else.
It's okay. We love making the mental gymnastics Gen Z terms.
Yeah,
we have a whole dictionary for Gen Z over here.
We do. By the way. Yeah,
it's fun teaching them a lot of stuff. And there's even stuff in there I don't even know. Like I'm Gen Z. How do I not know like some of these terms? It's crazy. It's crazy stuff.
My oldest almost talks in a different language at times. I can't keep up with it all, so
it's okay. I can help you translate.
If you
ever need it, I can help you out.
So kind of a spin-off from that topic, we also wanted to kind of bring up another trend, which has been these like morning routine videos where people have these pristine mornings. I wake up at 5 a.m. I drink my coffee, very specific, most of the time pretentiously. And then I do my journals and all this sort of stuff. Do you have any thoughts on that nonsense?
I'm not a big journaler. And I just like in my honest opinion, I don't know. I probably could do with some journaling, but I usually I'm a big shoot from the hip kind of guy. So maybe I could maybe make a resolution to do that a little bit more, but
Well, I don't think you need to. My take on those videos is that, like a lot of things on social media, people live in a fantasy world. Or at least they project themselves to live in a fantasy world.
Yeah, internet and real life are like vastly different a lot of the times.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a bubble.
Most people, their mornings are chaotic, especially if you have kids. There's no other reality other than chaotic. If you don't have kids, maybe that is, up in the air.
I can only imagine how bad it was raising my my snarky butt.
I mean, I'm sure there are some people that will get up at 5 a.m. and work out and drink coffee and journal and do all that stuff. But the majority of people just do not engage in that behavior.
I'm sorry, you say that, and like I'm looking right at the Saratoga water. I'm getting like more flashbacks. We still have that one funny reel when the whole thing was happening. We still have this water. We have not touched it.
Yeah.
No,
everyone knows that water. He's gonna open it, even though it's been sitting around for who knows how long.
The water doesn't expire, does it?
No,
Exactly.
Fit it.
There you go. It's now one of our products on the table.
There you go. Little Saratoga water.
Tastes like water.
Tastes like water. As one would imagine.
We're gonna pour in some ice in a fancy cup.
Yeah. Yeah, you see this bottle. If you've been on TikTok or Instagram, Twitter, you've seen this bottle. You know exactly what we're talking about.
Everybody knows from 2 months ago. I don't even know how long ago.
Yeah, but generally there's a lot of those videos. Here's my morning routine. Wake up with me as I go through this process. And it's never that pristine in the real world. But people have to project themselves a certain way. Perhaps that could apply to their coffee process as well.
Yep. Everybody has their own process as well. But there's also so many different ways to brew coffee in itself. I mean, there's like espresso, there's pour-overs, you can make a drip. Even the cold brew that we were talking about last time as well. There's so many different ways, so you can incorporate that into like your morning routine, or maybe even night routine if you're like going into like some crazy night shift. You might need something quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, your routine is your routine. I just think it is funny how people project themselves in a pseudo-false way, probably most of the time. But, I think that's just the human
my rented
experience.
Lamborghini that I don't know, but I want to post it to my 1 million followers.
Exactly.
We can't go on this podcast without like hating on something.
I know. We have to. I mean,
certified haters on here.
Look, I'm getting a little bit older. I'm on social media all the time, but some of the trends that sprout, I am so at a distance with. It baffles me. I don't understand that element of it.
Like some girl math.
Exactly.
When was the last time you used girl math?
Oh man, that is a good question. I mean, in some ways, I've done a little bit of that with my wife when I play hockey because I want to join all of these teams, and it's like $500 a team, so you're like working out like, here's how we can pay for it. I'd say that's about the only time it applies to my life.
That's fair enough.
Speaking of weird behavior, let's talk about coffee shop behavior. Because we've talked about this before. It's been a while. Like I think it was like a year ago we brought this up on one of the early episodes. Like things people do in the coffee shop. Like one thing that was on Jamie's radar at the time that I still think applies is if you're going to be on a call, like wear headphones.
Yep.
Don't forget the
everyone.
meeting to everyone at the coffee shop.
Everyone's listening to the meeting. Everyone's listening to Jamie's favorite artist, Taylor Swift. No, I'm not gonna. He's not here to defend himself. I'm not even gonna do that to him. We'll just say like Red Hot Chili Peppers or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, you walk into a coffee shop, you probably just want there for like some nice like lo-fi vibes, and you don't really want someone like blasting like their I don't know, whatever marketing meeting they're in.
Yeah,
etc.
exactly. So that's part of it. One thing as well, I assume this is applicable to most coffee shops, if not all of them, certainly ours. Dave is the only animal that is allowed. He gets really jealous if other dogs or cats come inside the place, so no animals allowed. No animals allowed.
Well, that's for a specific reason as well.
Yeah.
So I figured, it's actually, I was going to bring this up, but I'm glad you did at least, because I'll probably say a Hersher, but so I guess I can be like the official one here, but we're an FDA food processing facility, so we're not allowed to have animals inside our building at all. Unless it's like a designated service animal that has to be actually official, which we've had this issue before. People come in and they say, "This is my service animal," and it's like, okay, what does your service animal do? It's for my anxiety. Now, it's pretty easy to tell. Like a lot of people like come up with like their on the spot excuse, etc. And obviously that's fine, but you're not. It has to be like an official service animal. And there's a lot of regulations on service animals, like being in, like what the shop owners can say, etc. So everyone who's been trained what to do, but you no matter what, you don't want animals in like a food processing facility.
Yeah.
If you're going to like a pizza bakery, you probably don't want to be seeing dogs in there, etc.
Exactly.
FDA hates that. You don't want to get shut down.
Yeah, it's just a food safety issue.
And by the way, for a helpful tip, if somebody kicks you off for not having like an official service animal, the cops are not going to be your friend. There's a certain agency. If you have a real service animal, you know exactly what agency to call.
Yeah,
It's not 911.
if you're not
There
picking
is-
it up on the spot.
There is an official agency to call for that. So if you do have an actual service animal, which if you go through a certification process, you know exactly who you need to call.
Yeah, exactly. So generally, no, I mean, obviously we were being facetious earlier, but the real answer is
Yes.
food safety. It's a real thing. And because we roast all of our coffee here, we have to take that seriously. So
Yes.
if we kick your dog out of the coffee shop, it's no hard feelings. We don't mean it personally. It's a
Yeah,
safety issue.
and we love dogs. Like we have a dog. We have outside seating. We have a dog bowl here. So we love dogs. I would love to bring our dog, or at least like me and my father's dog over here. It's awesome.
Yeah,
But it's just we
Exactly.
can't have that inside the building, unfortunately.
yes, yeah. I mean, you can bring your dog and sit right outside and enjoy your coffee, and that's perfectly fine. We just can't have it in the building. And that's a consistent thing. I feel like that comes up.
It goes coming up. It comes up like a
Pretty
off.
often.
It feels like.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens. Like it just always comes around.
Yeah. The next point I feel like hasn't been as quite an issue lately, although we've had this in the past, as far as couples coming in and maybe being a little too touchy-feely like on our couch and stuff.
Yes.
So, like maybe keep that to a minimum
Yeah.
or elsewhere.
Yeah, you probably don't want to have too much PDA inside your local coffee shop.
Yeah.
You don't want to make other people uncomfortable, or baristas.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even us, because I've seen it. And it's
Yeah, don't harass or hit on our baristas.
yes, which has happened.
Yeah.
You don't have to be too much of a creep.
Yeah, they're there to do a job.
Or become a liver partner. Just don't be making love on the couch, please,
Yes, exactly.
etc.
I mean, you can come and hang out, and if you want to talk and be close, that's fine.
Animal
but
hands, that's
maybe-
completely fine. But
Yeah. There's a line.
think of the kids.
Exactly. And we do have kids that come in with their parents and stuff. So.
But yeah, we don't really have any problems here. But like once in a blue moon, something like really crazy happens, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Generally, just it's common sense, and I say that as if it should be common, but I don't know how common sense really is.
It's not. It's really not. Yeah.
So
Yeah, just come in, let me know. We can hold hands, whatever. Just don't get too crazy with your PDA, I guess.
just be normal. If you even know what that is, I don't know. Like,
Look, I mean, we do live in South Florida. There's a lot of non-normal
yeah, that
people
is
here.
true. We could run into a lot of Florida men.
We do. The Florida men are real, by the way.
Yes,
They're everywhere.
It's a real thing.
The Florida man meme is quite apparent. We do wrestle alligators here. I've seen it.
Absolutely. All right. I think we can kind of wind down from there. Just a reminder, as we are in June, our coffees of the month, Columbia, our single origin, really good coffee. Our E115 is not recommended for everybody. This is a really dark coffee.
It is quite dark.
Really particular, but if you want to try something unique and robust, definitely give this one a go. It's really good, but maybe not for everybody. So
Get coffee. And see, you get to try a little bit of everything with coffee with a month.
Absolutely.
Which is the fun of it. You can narrow down what you like.
Yeah.
And we're not going to sell you bad coffee, don't worry.
No.
We only got the good shit here.
Exactly. A couple of other things too. We've recently updated the website, so you might notice a few changes on there. I know recently Lucas has dealt with people with gift cards. That has been updated, so all of that should be working fine. If you are new to Coffee Call and you need help determining a flavor profile that works for you, we have a quiz on our homepage. We also have a link, I'll link it in the description of this episode, for you to go and check out as well. And it's just a questionnaire. It's real simple, real easy. Click on it, and it'll help determine the coffees for you to try. It's a fantastic feature, so you can check that out as well. Am I missing anything? Anything you want to add before we get out of here?
No, the quiz was the big one. It's super cool. You should definitely try it out.
It's really cool.
I tried it out. It works pretty well.
It works great, yeah. So please go and check it out. Of course, be sure to follow us on all the social medias. If you have any questions or anything, you can hit us up. We would love to answer any questions you guys have. So.
Yep, and you can call us and talk to yours truly,
Exactly.
unless you're a scammer.
Yeah, just call and ask for Jamie. He'll gladly talk to you.
Look, whatever you do, if you're gonna call customer service, don't call in asking for the owner. The owner is never here.
The owner, mysteriously gone out of town. Clearly.
Now, one of us is here, maybe.
Yeah,
If you're asking for Lucas, JD, or Jamie, maybe. That holds a big possibility we could be here.
Absolutely. All right. Well, in the meantime, summer is in full swing, so enjoy your summer drinks. Stop by the shop if you're down here in South Florida, or if you're local to us. We'd love to meet and hang out with you. Until then, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.